Welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV drama series. Today's drama story is about Bad Friend In and Out. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. So a bit over a year ago, I picked up playing Final Fantasy XIV because my back then still friend, let's call her Laura, has been playing and telling me all about it. Me having played WoW before, I was quite excited to try something new. So I picked up the game and we started playing it as a small group of 4 people, even formed our own little FC. While things started out well, at some point, I already started seeing some crumbles happening. So mind you, I've played WoW for over 10 years. I know how MMOs work and the overall principle of them. However, Laura had always tried to one-up me and attempt to be smarter. She even did so by trying to make me look stupid for not being able to buy the level 50 tombstone weapons yet, when she was so insistent on me being able to buy them. And I hadn't even unlocked the vendor yet. I told her this and showed her. She then sent me proof that the vendor I didn't have access to sold the things despite me telling her I didn't have access. It was eventually the first red flag of many to come. Most days went by fine, though she always had her days of seemingly getting mad at me for nothing. She would get mad at me for not wanting to play a class she loved because it didn't interest me. She would get mad at me for disagreeing with something she said or offered because it simply didn't make sense in that way. She would get mad at me because I got along better with people than she did, because I put myself out there for them. At one point, one of the guys from our group was starting to develop a thing for me. I was flattered by the attention. However, I didn't feel the same way for him, leaving him heartbroken. Of course, she was trying to make me look bad then as well, as if it was not my choice to make whether I like someone romantically or not. It was about then the group started to crumble a little bit. What a surprise. We've met a couple of other people along the way and made friends. However, as soon as any of them would ever pay attention to me and not her, she would go pout in the corner like a child. Pouting like a little child in the corner. At this point, she found reasons to be mad at me almost every day, almost every other day, and it got draining. Fast forward a little while, we met another set of people named Ryan and Jack. We met them because I decided to be a troll one day and became an annoying Lalafell. That is how you meet friends. Become a Lalafell and bug everyone. Those two were new friends we happened to spend a lot of time around, and Ryan and Jack had a nice and active FC. Ours was basically dead at this point, with 2 people not playing anymore, and I didn't want to be the only one responsible for building up the FC when it was a group thing we formed, because frankly, it was only me who put in the effort for anything. I wanted to motivate people to get a FC house even, but no one ever contributed. I looked at Ryan and Jack's FC community page and knew instantly this is what I wanted for an FC. They were active, kept to a relatively average size to avoid being overloaded with inactive players, had events, and etc. And I knew for myself I wanted to switch over there, so I brought it up to Laura and I was very set on this decision. She seemed hesitant, but I also told her she could stay in our current FC if she really wanted to. But she decided to move to the new FC with me. At first, everything went well. We attended events together. I started making friends and getting to know people, and including myself in the FC and its things. It was when her worst jealousy streak started to spark. Jack had stopped playing the game at some point. He was out of the picture and out of the friend group early on, which caused even more jealousy problems whenever Ryan and I had done something together. But Laura and Ryan started closing themselves off from me while I integrated myself into the FC. They stopped showing up to the FC events despite me encouraging them, even telling them when there were spaces for extremes and trials left and so on. So she's been inviting them, but they're like not coming to her stuff. The 2 of them claimed I was only ever doing things with the FC despite me telling them countless of times I'm free whenever. all they need to do is hit me up because they always seem busy with each other. But they never did, and instead decided to turn me into the enemy role even further. They started doing things alone together that we said we would do as three. Even left our Discord server we had just made for us friends without a notice. I only randomly found out about them leaving sometime after, and I felt honestly upset. So while they were pushing me out further and further for engaging with people who for the first time gave me positive support and made me actually feel like they wanted me around, not like Laura making sure to always throw a temper tantrums at me and be mad at me every other day, I started getting closer to one of the FC members. We'll call him Max. Max and I hit it off basically right from the start. I could feel myself be happier, more cheerful than I've been in a long while. One night, he and I stayed up until sunrise basically, running dungeons and just enjoying each other's company. At one point, he asked Laura and Jack if they wanted to join. They crossed us while we were getting ready to queue again, and they declined. Only later on, Jack started to throw a temper tantrum at me because it wasn't me who asked them, but Max. And that they feel like they got replaced because I spent my whole night with that one person who made me feel free, happy, and careless while they were the ones shutting themselves off. It was at that point I told them how I felt upset and hurt by their actions in the past weeks and how I wasn't replacing them because in my opinion, there's always enough room for everyone. There's just a difference in people actually wanting to hang out with you and showing you that, and people making sure to show you that they don't want you around at all. It all went on and on, them ignoring me or only ever coming to me when they suddenly had a problem with each other while I was living my best life with my newfound friends and Max. However, their ignorance and behavior still upset me a lot, and I confided in Max, who in the end offered to help and work things out with us. He tried talking to them. However, the conversation quickly turned targeted against me, making me out to be the enemy for abandoning them, despite me telling them over and over that I'm here if they want me around. But Max wasn't having any of that since he got to know me, knew what I was like, and honestly is excellent at reading people. Things had escalated a lot, and they were trying to guilt trip us and telling us how we've broken their trust and they'll never be the same again. How they felt like they didn't belong because of me and ended up leaving the FC. Before all that, I was told that Laura wished we could go back to the way things were before joining that new FC, and I said, honestly, that I didn't. Only thanks to this switch, I was able to not only develop as a person, but also as a player. I went from being too scared of any hard content to now doing extremes regularly and being a savage raider. None of that would have happened if I didn't join this FC, because they encouraged me and helped me unfold my potential. At first, I was worried too, fearing the FC would hate me, but they always had my back. Now, since I know Laura IRL, things got awkward there as well, considering I saw her frequently too. However, I knew for myself then I was cutting off the contact. For a long while, I let myself be handled around as she wanted and allowing her to treat me like garbage. But Max and the new people in my life taught me my worth and to not let them slide with that. By now, I'm still in that FC, ranked up higher for being a supporting member, found myself a relationship that has been the best thing to happen to me, and I wouldn't change anything because I removed toxic people from my life and kept the good ones around that still give me joy to this day. The end. OP had enough of it and met better friends in the new FC, so that's good for her, and she said she removed all the toxic people out of her life. So this story is the exact reason why I do not do MMOs with real life friends and acquaintances. Like, I could see the pros of it and the cons. I think it really depends on your friendship with that person. Sometimes there's like a lot of things like that in real life too. Like, it doesn't have to do anything with the with Final Fantasy XIV. Like, sometimes you have a friend and you think this friend is really good for you, and then over some time you're like, you start to realize like, this friend is really not my friend and not there for me. Just don't have friends, forehead. Like, okay, like, it's harder to make friends when you grow up, right? Like, most of your friends are from school or like little activities that you do outside. So yeah, I don't know. I find it harder to make friends now. All my friends that I'm really close to are like all from school or like things I did when I was growing up. some of my friends nowadays, like some are from my stream, some from Final Fantasy 14 also, like online friends. But yeah, what I was trying to say basically is a lot harder to make friends these days. And I don't know why, but like people don't think that sometimes there's people in video games who just want to make friends. And that's it. Nothing more, just friends. Not trying to have a relationship or anything like that. Just trying to make friends. Because, you know, there's so many people out there who are lonely, want friends, because it's just so hard to make friends once you're done with school. I think like this story could happen to anyone. You just learn that this friend is just not good for me anymore. It just so happened to be Final Fantasy involved because they played the game together and joined FCs and met new friends through the video game. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this Final Fantasy XIV drama story. If you have any of your own drama stories that you'd like me to share and read out anonymously, feel free to reach out to my Discord, discord.gg/Pathra.